Hi there and welcome to some more videos on what shots you wanted around Thetford Golf Course. So on this video clip I've done 3 for you. I will do some more but it's freezing out here and I'll get too cold. So on today's one we are going to be talking about the fade low punchy scud missile shot from behind the trees. We're also going to be talking about a lob shot over a bunker from a tight lie. And we're also going to be talking about chipping from behind the 8th green where you've thinned or gone too much club and it's rolled down the back into the trees up at the back. So that's the 3 shots on this video. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so one of the questions I was asked to do a video on is how to hit a low punchy shot that goes a long way with fade on the ball. So when you have draw on the ball stays low, it's quite easy to get it a long way, but fade in theory means an open club face. So therefore I assume this person is saying they're hitting the trees and everything. So this is quite a tricky shot to hit, I will say. I think perhaps the video should have been how to stop me hitting it in the trees on the right hand side every time. That would be much easier to do than this one, but we'll have a go at this anyhow. So what we're going to do is this, is that we have to understand how to play the shots and what part of the club you're going to hit the ball with. So everybody just assumes that if you hit down and into the ball's naturally going to fly lower, and that's not always the case. If we hit it too high up the club face, and a steeper angle attack could well create that, the ball gets a bit more flight and it's going to lift up. So if you're putting a bit of fade on it at the same time, you're going to get a bit of lift because you've hit down and it's hit too high up the club face, and you've got an open club face that's going to lift, so you're probably going to hit the trees. If you think about the shots that go through the green, it's not because you've thinned them. So thin is where you've hit it further down the club face. So if we had a shallower path as opposed to a steeper path and we hit it with the bottom sort of 3, few grooves, the ball's got more chance to stay lower. So it's probably opposite to what you thought. The other thing as well is that the faster your swing, the faster this is moving, the more the ball is going to lift and flight. So the slower your swing, okay, the lower the ball can stay. So with that in mind, it'll be thinking, okay, right, let's say for argument's sake, we'll hit a couple of shots to give you some different situations. That the shot into the green is an 8-iron away. Okay, let's go with an 8-iron. And you've got a sort of slight tree in the way. I'm on the driving range because I want to show you how the ball flights and everything. So you're on the driving range, sorry, you're out there, you've got a normal 8-iron shot distancing. So if we went up to say something like a 5-iron, which is what I've got here, and I did a nice slow swing, because the swing is so slow, the ball won't lift. Okay, if you play with fellow golfers and if you look at someone, let's take, okay, generally ladies compared to men, ladies' flight is generally lower than a man's flight because of the speed of everything going, the club, the body and everything. So the slower we can swing it while getting a good strike, the lower this ball will stay. So if I just open the club face up a bit and I go with a nice easy swing on a 5-iron, let's just have a look. So let's just try one middle of our stance. Okay, so I only need to hit it, I don't know, just an 8-iron distance. Watch this. So that is really low, it's got some movement on the ball, and that would easily be as far as what the 8-iron was. But you see how soft to hit it? I didn't have to hit it hard. Okay, if you have to hit it hard, the ball's going to flight up a bit. If I hit one harder, let's do exactly the same shot and hit down and into it a bit harder. Okay, so that's got the same amount of fade on the ball. Yes, it's gone further, but it's probably gone 3 times higher. Okay, so slowing your swing down will definitely keep the ball down. If you have it further forward in your stance and you catch it with the clean grooves, don't try to take too much turf, that will help keep it down. Okay, so let's say that we wanted to hit it a bit further. We had I don't know, let's say that we were going to hit a 5-iron into the green. Well, do the same with a fairway wood. Nothing changes. Keep it all the same. Nice easy swing. back and through. Again, keep the club face open a tiny bit, but just hit it hard enough to go the distance of the 5-iron. So watch this. So there you go, so that's nice and low again, and that's faded, and that's gone about as far as a 5-iron did. So the easiest way to play this low shot with fade is to go up 2-3 clubs, hit it softly. I would move it further in my stance and just come nice and shallow through a shot. Don't be too steep. Just get the club face open and slow the swing down. That'll keep the ball down for you. Hope it works. So here we are on the 10th hole, and the next video we've asked for is a lob shot over a bunker when the ground's not so great. So there we go. So first thing is expectation of the shot. Now, a lob shot is not about the height. The lob shot is about once the ball lands, it doesn't run. Okay, so we need to find a way to reduce the roll on the other side. That's what the lob shot makeup is. I think a lot of you see it as height, and that's where you go wrong first of all. So the realistic outcome of this shot is that no matter how well I hit this, the ball is going to go past the flag, because we're landing on a down slope that's going to roll away. Okay, so straight away, if I was playing this, I'm thinking realistically, if I got this within 10 foot past the hole, I think that would be a pretty decent effort, and I'll be pleased with that. Place we don't want to go perhaps is in the bunker. So you do have options. I mean, you could chip it on top of the hill over there, get it onto that part of the green, but you want to look at how to play this. So obviously I'd grab my most lofted club, which is the 60. Okay, so we've got 60 degrees. Now, this is a really, really tight lie, okay? There's different ways that you can play the shot, depending on your skill level and your confidence and your overall ability to be able to hit this. So what I'm going to do first of all is just hit a sort of a standard chip, okay? So 60 degrees of loft these days has took a lot of the skill needed out of playing these shots. You get 60, 62, 64. And if I hit the ball forwards and try to land it on the front part of the green, I know it's quite a small target, anywhere between the flag and the front part of the green, I don't think our ball is going to be too far away from where we said. So let's just have a go at that one there. I'm just going to try and hit the ball, and this is a really, really tight lie. So when it's a tight lie, it means I've got to get the strike spot on. I'm certainly not going to hit down. If I hit down, the chance of me catching it well is 1%. It's also going to put too much force into the ball. Remember, the whole point of this shot is once it lands, you want the ball to slow down. So I would tend to have the ball forward in my stance, as you can see there. My weight's forwards, and I'm just trying to strike the ball forwards, okay? So the leading edge sort of hits the bottom of the ball forwards. I'm not going to go fast with the swing, and a nice smooth swing. Let's just have a go. So I'm going to try to land it on the front part of that green. I mean, this is a horrifically tight lie. So again, pass is better than short. Okay, so there you go. I've hit that pretty good. I mean, I'd be pleased with that in the game all day long. That was about as good as I could have hit it. You saw we got the height, it landed, and I am 10, 12 foot past the hole. I don't think I could have landed any closer to me. I don't think I could have got the ball to stop any faster than what I did, but the amount of turf I took is minimal. I haven't struck down, okay? Too many golfers, what they do is they move it back in their stance, and you're going to strike down. And if you do that, the ball's going to come out too fast, okay? The other thing you can do, I suppose, is you can bounce the back of the sole off the ground. I'm not a fan of that, and I don't really play that shot, but we'll see how well I can do it. So I'm going to try to, as I hit the ball, bounce the sole off the ground. So there you go. So as you can see there, I've got all that height, but it's much harder to judge. So if I was after height, which the lob shot isn't about, I can hit the back part of the sole down into the ground just for the ball. It'll bounce, it'll pop the ball vertical, but as you can see, that's double the distance. Or I move the ball forward in my stance, I chip the ball forwards, I trust the loft, and all I've got to do is get a good connection, and therefore I land it on the front part of the green. We don't do anything fancy, no Phil Mickelson stuff needed. Trust your club, don't go for elevation, go for a shot that lands with reduced roll. The faster you swing it, the more aggressive, the faster it will come out. So sort of a nice leisurely casual swing, don't go too fast, hit it hard enough and you should be okay, but it does take practice. So one of the videos I was asked to do was what happens when it goes over the back of the 8th. I'll have to say, to the person who asked me to do this, what is your ball doing over the back of the 8th? This is a shot you definitely got slightly wrong, but let's throw a couple of balls down and see how we would play it. So let's say one just sort of comes over not too fast. Okay, so it's gone all the way down there. Let's say it comes over a bit harder. Okay, so no matter the speed, they've both gone to the same position. So let's leave one sort of in there and one on this bearer stuff. Okay, so let's take the bearer stuff first, which is here. Now, the shot does vary depending on how far the flag is. So the flag's quite a long way away here today. But even if it was just over the lip, you can still play this the same way. So we've got a tight lie. So a tight lie means it's very easy to catch the floor. The ground's going to give way. The ball's just going to hit the bank and not too much. So if I had this shot, because it was I mean, it's a perfect lie. There's no grass there. It's just sat on mud and that. I'd putt this, I think. I know a few of you may be thinking, well, I can't believe that, but I think that, let's have a go. A putt is not a bad option. So the reason why it's not a bad option, I believe, is that as long as you hit the ball hard enough, your next shot will be on the green. And I think part of the problem with these are that sometimes you get to your realistic goal becomes too high. In other words, you're trying to get it up and down from here. Well, if we got it onto the green and had 2 putts, you'd be happy. So from a putt like this or a shot like this, I'd putt it. I'd have a look up to see what we've got. Okay, so it's all quite low grass, nothing too bad. So let's have a go, see what happens. So there you go, I've putted that. It's rolling down the green, and okay, that's gone to about 18 feet just short of the flag, which means from there I'm pretty much guaranteed to have 2 putts. So I'm just going to throw this ball a bit further in. There we go. Oh, blimey. Okay, so let's have a go with this one. So if you've got no grass in there, you can just putt it. You don't have to use a putter on the green because it's a putter. You can use it from anywhere, and that was certainly a good option. So this one here, let me just clear the debris. Now you've got to be careful clearing stuff around the ball, because if we move too much and move the ball, we're in a bit of bother. So I'm only going to move the sort of loose stuff. I tend to just move stuff that might affect the club going back and coming through. Generally this side, as long as it's nothing too big, it shouldn't affect the ball too much. Get rid of these couple. Okay, so there we go. It's pretty much all the handiwork I'll do there with the gardening. So this one here, do you know what, if you were confident with your putter, you probably could putt this. You'd have to give it a hell of a whack though to get it up there. Now I'm actually sat on all these sort of acorns and leaves and things like that, if they are acorns, whatever they are. I've just cleaned out all the stuff around it. Now in an ideal world, we'll get a bit of a tight lie. The easiest shot is to chip the ball to about here, let it run up and go through. The problem is the ground behind is quite a bit higher than here. I don't think I can land it short enough to pitch there. It'll probably hit the bank and it's going to kick off. So you've got 2 choices. You can go with your wedge. One of your wedges, strike the ball, you'll carry it and it'll run on. Or what we can try to do is to hit into the bank. So if we can sort of hit the bank up here, from there, chip it into here, it'll slow it down a bit, it'll bump over and it'll get it onto the green. If we pitch it too far down, it's going to kill it and we won't be able to reach. So let's have a look. So I think that if I hit it something like a 7 iron, find my 7, I'm looking to land it on the top third of the bank. It should get a bit of a kick, slow it down, but it will jump over. Again, we just got to get it on to the green for me. We don't want to be too greedy. So ball a bit further back in my stance. I'm looking to pitch it into the bank. So you see I've pitched it into the bank. That's rolled down and, okay, that's quite close. That's about 8 foot, 10 foot from the hole. So if we're here, I think your best option is to putt. If you're further back, you can hit one of your wedges if you're okay, or 7-iron into the top of the bank. It will slow it down a bit and then it will run over. If the flag is nearer towards you, play this shot and hit it into the bank something like a 9-iron. It just won't allow it to run so far. Hope that helps.